love driving big, gigantic lifted trucks. And here's why. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Rob Motive FST. And I gotta say, I really do love gigantic, big old lifted trucks like the Tundra that we're in right now. There's a few reasons why. You know, I did a video recently about the intimidation factor of the truck. I do think that people find big trucks, particularly as huge as this thing is, intimidating. That means that they tend to give you more room and they tend to respect your turn signal a little bit more. In other words, when you want to do something and you put that turn signal on, people tend to give you a little more room. They tend to pay a little more attention. They tend to let you go. Also, when you're coming up on somebody else, like at an intersection, I was just doing this, there was a window that the car in front of me could have turned. They could have turned in front of me. There was plenty of space, but they didn't. They waited until I went through the intersection. I kind of dig that. I like the intimidation factor of this giant truck because it just makes people pay a little bit more attention and respect your space when you're on the road. Next up, I just love the stance of it. I mean, I think a lifted Tundra looks awesome. I've got to get a lift on this one, by the way. So far, nothing, but it's coming. But anyway, I just love the look of it. I think it looks strong. I think it looks mean. It's perfect for every truck, I think, a lift that is. But particularly the Tundra, it just needs it. It's proportioned for it, and it just looks awesome. The drivability of it. Now, I'm not talking about getting in and running to the grocery store, although you can do that as long as you can park 100 miles away. I'm talking about the terrain that you're driving over. You know, today, just a few minutes ago, I was pulling up. I was going to cross an intersection. I'm turning, and there's a truck, or a car rather, coming. He's going to cross the intersection. Now, it was one of those intersections where it was a pretty good dip before you go up over the road and then down the other side. So everybody in a car always slows way down to take that because they have to. Their front end is gonna scrape. And man, it bugs me when I see that happen. I kind of cringe, especially if my window's down and I can hear that as they're going across or over that little indentation in the road. That drives me insane. I don't have to worry about that in my Toyota Tundra. I can take that pretty much at full speed if I want to. Now, may not be great for the suspension, may not be the greatest thing for your wheels, but nonetheless, I can do it and I don't have to worry about scraping. You know, another area that I love having this truck in, because it's so gigantic, is the McDonald's in the area here. You know, for some reason, when they designed that, it's kind of like the thing I was just talking about a second ago. When you pull off the main, when you pull off, I put my turn signal on, I don't know. When you pull off the main drag and you go into their parking lot, there's a pretty big dip down and then immediately goes up. Now, it's not so bad going in if you're in a car. You still have to slow down and you really have to take it at an angle so that you don't scrape the front. But the coming out part, that is fun to watch. It makes me cringe when it happens, but it is fun to watch. What I'm talking about, people pull out of there, especially if it's somebody that's not familiar with it. And traffic is rather busy. So sometimes if you're in a hurry and you want to get out across that intersection, you gotta gun it. Every time I see a car do that, they scrape. I even saw the front fascia of one once move. They hit that hard enough that it actually hit the underside of the front bumper fascia. They actually moved the trim a little bit. It didn't go flying off or anything, but man, if it didn't break something, I would be very, very surprised. I don't have to worry about that either in my Tundra. You know, I can take that thing head on. I wouldn't take it too fast because it is a pretty severe dip before it goes up, but I can take it head on. I don't have to worry about scraping anything underneath the truck. Another thing is the usefulness of it. You know, I remember way back when I drove cars. I haven't had a car for quite a while now, but when I drove cars, it would never fail that I was somewhere and I wanted something, but I couldn't haul it. I had to worry about whether it would fit in my car or whether or not I could strap it down on the roof. You ever see anybody going down the freeway with a mattress strapped to their roof? You know, the front end is bending up like this. You're afraid to be behind them because it looks like it can go flying off there any second. I had to worry about stuff like that. I don't anymore. With the size of the Tundra, I can fit pretty much anything I want to fit inside of it. I love that. The other day I was toying with getting a new TV. I was thinking about getting one of those Gigano TVs, right? I think an 80-inch, something like that. I didn't have to worry about hauling it home. It will fit easily in the back of this truck. I can lay it down and it will fit in there. I could have done that with a car or an SUV. You know, that's another thing. I love when I go to Lowe's and I see people loading up stinky wet mulch in their SUV. You know it's carpeted, right? So they're throwing these bags, and usually, well, sometimes, they'll throw some plastic in there. It doesn't matter. It's not like it's perfectly sealed. If the bags are wet enough, they're going to get water, that stinky brown, nasty water, all over the place. It's going to roll off that plastic, and it's going to soak into their carpet. And I wonder how many of those people that have done that actually sit and think, what is that stench in my car? Or in this case, SUV. This thing stinks. Well, there's a reason for that. Did you haul mulch a week ago? Even if you put plastic down. What about stones? I've seen people load those up as well. Horrible, horrible idea. So having this big, gigantic Tundra, I love it. I can haul what I want. People are intimidated by it, and I'm not looking at it just to intimidate people. Don't get me wrong. I mean to give me space and stay out of my way. It makes it safer. And I think there's something to be said about that too. Speaking again about the size of the Tundra, it's safer because people do pay more attention. They can see you and they stay away from you because they fear for their own safety if they get too close, if you know what I'm saying. Leave a comment. Let me know. Do you find all these things to be true about the gigantic Toyota Tundra? Do you like these things? Do you even notice them? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, if you're interested, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about my 2021 Toyota Tacoma, and Rob Motive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.